On behalf of the board, welcome to our AGM. It's indeed a pleasure to connect with all of you online for our year in review, March 21 to Feb 2022. A year still disrupted by COVID, as we still experience the lasting impacts on our health, wellness, and education. It has, however, taught us the art of connecting virtually and extended reach beyond face-to-face contact. So for this reason, we decided to run our AGM virtually again. But for those of you who are around tomorrow, please join us for our open day. Let's move on to formalities. We'd like to note apologies. Can we move to acceptance of the minutes for the previous AGM? We'd like to do so using an online poll. If you can please indicate your vote on the screen in front of you. Thank you. Minutes accepted. As we reflect on the previous financial year, I have to thank Stephen Digby for his invaluable contribution during this time, and we wish him all of the best in his future endeavors. As a result of Stephen's resignation, there's been some changes to the board. It was great honor that I accept being elected as chairperson for the trust. Zanele Tsaba was elected vice chair, and Peter Koch elected as treasurer. I would like to thank Peter Blaine for his contribution during this time and acknowledge his support as a continuous board member. And Sophia and Lucy remain trustees. May I ask once again, through using the poll, the acceptance of the changes to the board? Thank you. I'd also like to welcome both Sophia and Peter Koch in studio with me today, as they will be taking you through parts of the presentation. Before I hand over to Sophia, I have to reflect on some highlights during the year. True to our slogan, changing lives, Pebbles have been engaging with some of the beneficiaries regarding their stories. We refer to them as impact stories, and some of which you'll be see play out today. If you can go to our website and watch the rest of these videos, it would be great. It really drives home the message of your continuous support and what you help us achieve. Another key highlight is the mobile clinic that allows us to enter communities that haven't had access to health services before. So I'd like to thank you for that continuous support. None of this is possible without you. We will now watch a video called Jordan's Story, after which Sophia will take you through a summary of programs and services.
My name is Jordan Salmon. I grew up on Valeria Wines, where I attended the Pebbles After School Club for 11 years now. I enjoy coming to the After School Club and playing soccer with other learners. I love math so much that I sometimes even dream about it. Pebbles have helped me discover my love for maths, especially Mr. Terence, the Pebbles facilitator, who helped me get my marks up to 87%, where I'm now the top learner of my year. I started teaching maths to the other children on the farm and I love it.
7 years, 3 years.
My dream is to become an accountant one day, and I know Pebbles will help me achieve my dream.
I want to say thank you to Lee for her introduction and her welcome. And just add to her thanks also to Stephen Digby, who was with the organisation for over 11 years, nearly 12 years, and many of them as our chairperson. I think he only is leaving unwillingly because they're relocating back to the UK. So Stephen, we wish you all the best. But you are leaving the organisation that you've carried and supported for so long in very safe hands with Lee here. And we hope we make you proud, and we hope you continue supporting us when you're back in the UK. For those of you who needed a tissue after that video, wait till the other two that you're going to see later. We're so proud to share the stories of our early adulthood programme ambassadors. And so they really tell the story more than I can say, more than Lee can say, more than any of us can say, is when you watch the video. I want to introduce our staff team. This was the team of staff from last year. You can see they're a strong, powerful, incredibly dedicated group of people. I could not do this, obviously, without these incredible people who go over and above every day. I say to them, you know, we're not going to take on anything new this year. They always laugh at me. We always know we're going to. But it's not just me, the driving force. Every single person in this photograph is a driving force for Pebbles. And so to all the staff who I know are watching, thank you, because you're amazing. We are an amazing team. Just a quick run through of where we're working. We started off 18 years ago, just in Stellenbosch, and have gradually over the years added another region and another region. We've got a waiting list of new regions as well, but for now we're working in Clanwilliam. That is where the mobile health service is working. Citrusdale, we've got ECD and after school club programs going on there. Piketberg, we've got a couple of ECD centres that we support. And Wellington, Paarl and Stellenbosch, we have quite a full range of the services that we offer. Grebo, you see, I'm not an Afrikaans speaker naturally. Grebo is our new area that we took on this year, and it's an exciting expansion into that side, and the Hemelanade Dam in Hermanus. So it seems to be we're running on a bit of a line. Maybe we'll start moving sideways one day, but for now we're going to stick with these regions. We've been working over the last couple of years, and anyone who attended the AGM last year, I gave an overview of our programs and services and the new framework. So it has now become fairly embedded in how we're going to be working. Lots of acronyms to learn, and we often shout across the office to each other going, which one is it? LEEP, LEAP, is it SEP, is it? So all the different acronyms, but basically it's 3 solid age groups. ESEP, which is ECEP, the Early Care and Education Programme for the younger children, which has got 2 sub-programmes. Then the Learner Education and Enrichment Programme, which is for the 6 to 18-year-olds. That's the middle group. And then our Early Adulthood Programme, which is for learners from 15 who are not necessarily going to make it through to finishing matric, but going up to young adults of 24 or 25. Then running across the bottom of all of our education programs is our primary healthcare, wellness and dental service. And that includes the maternal health program that we run with the pregnant mothers. and the sexual health program that we run with the teenagers, and our social work team. Then running also alongside or underneath all of those programs is the nutrition service, which includes providing breakfast, lunch and snacks daily to all of our ECD children, and lunch and a snack for the after school club children who come to the centres after school. So it's a fairly comprehensive program, set of programs and services now. It's very holistic, and I think that is contributing to our success, is that it's not just focusing on one area of the child's life, it is focusing on every area of the child's life. These are our beneficiary numbers for the last financial year. You can see previously, last year and the year before, our numbers dipped a bit. That was a result of some centres going off independently when they no longer need our support. They're good to go on their own, and also the numbers of the children in the centres also fluctuates. So our highest number last year was 1,646, and our projection for next year is that the numbers will remain stable, hopefully, or even increase. Here's our slide just to show the number of education practitioners that we've trained and the number of centres that we have. So we have 51 centres out on the farms. Some of them are early childhood development, ECD centres, and some of them are after school clubs. And then the 93 is the number of practitioners trained. These are our external staff who work in the facilities as teachers. They come every second month for a training workshop for the day, where they cover what they're going to be doing in the next couple of months, and they also receive all the educational resources that they need. So the numbers also creeping up a little bit from last year, and hopefully next year we're projecting also to stay the same. The health service and the nutrition service, please don't worry, I'm not going to read every bit of this slide, but I just wanted to put it in to give you an idea of, let's look at the health service first, our number of appointments. The clinic opened in Stellenbosch in 2014, and in the first year we had 4,185 appointments for patients from the farms and local businesses. That number steadily climbed right up to 2019-2020, where we hit over 7,000 appointments. This is our 2 clinical nursing practitioners under the excellent guidance of Sister Adams. Then you can see our numbers drop down when it was COVID. The clinic did stay open through COVID, but obviously everybody else was locked up. So the clinic also quietened down quite considerably. And then in February 2021, we included the Twinings Mobile Health Clinic, which Lee mentioned. And so our numbers could then increase. And I was looking then at the first 6 months of this year, and we're already on 5,218 appointments. So I think by the end of the year, having the Stellenbosch clinic as well as the Clanwilliam mobile clinic, we're going to be able to reach so many more patients, which is brilliant. There's the staff team that are in the clinic, and we added an additional clinical nursing practitioner up in the Clanwilliam. So thank you to the clinic team. You guys are doing a great job, and we appreciate you. The nutrition service and the Pebbles kitchen. The numbers of meals, when we first started the nutrition program in 2014, we were buying the meals from an external service provider, and we did that for a number of years, and then decided that we would build our own kitchen, which many of you know. So we now produce the meals in the kitchen under the guidance of Dominic and Darren and his team there. So thank you to you two for doing such an excellent job. Last financial year, we were just under 500,000 meals that were distributed. If you look back to the 2020 number, that was when we ran a full-on emergency feeding program throughout the hard lockdown. And that's when we achieved over 1 million meals. And then looking at the first 6 months of this year already, 2022, we're on 374,000. So we're looking to actually maybe even beat last year's numbers. So they're doing a lot of hard work there in the kitchen. In addition to the hot meals that are prepared in the kitchen and distributed, we supply breakfast and snacks to over 1,000 children every day. And we also started a baby meal. So it's pureed meals in ice cube blocks, shapes, And those are for our youngest beneficiaries. So an extra 20,000 baby meals have gone out to our youngest beneficiaries. So thank you to the health service and to the nutrition service for what you contribute to the organisation. We're going to stop and watch Melodine's story now, and after then Peter Koch will be here to present the financial report.
My name is Melodine van Rooyen. I am in grade 10, I'm 16 years old, and I have attended the Pebbles After School Club for 7 years now. I think it's amazing that I can be a Pebbles ambassador today, because I never knew that I had leadership qualities before Pebbles came into my life. Dancing is one of my passions, and I would love to teach other children on my farm to dance. I love playing marimba. I want to become a lawyer. The reason why I want to become a lawyer is because I want to fight for people's rights and uplift people from my community. I believe that Pebbles will help me reach my goals. I'm grateful to Pebbles who have impacted my life positively, and I know they will continue supporting my dreams.
Okay. Hi, morning everyone. I'm Peter Koch. Those of you that have been regular supporters of Pebbles will have seen another Peter on the side of the projection for the past 11 years. So thanks very much to Peter Blaine, who's been an incredible support to Pebbles and continues to be a support. But he did ask that he be allowed to step down into a normal trustee for the foreseeable future. So thanks very much, Peter, for the work that you've done and the care that you've provided to Pebbles. Over your time, we saw those education numbers, those graphs that Sophia put up, and showed the growth of Pebbles over the past 10 years, and with a bit of stabilization over the last couple. So income has again exceeded 30 million, and I think we'll find that it's a similar number in the year that we're in at the moment. The staff numbers have also been relatively stable at around 100 staff members. And last year, those of you may remember from the minutes, we introduced a new financial management system called Zero, and that's been working well. So we're comfortable that things are being well looked after in that sense. So thanks very much to Michael for the work that you've been doing there. Just going to take you through some of the numbers, and I don't know, hopefully it's visible on your side on the screen. This is the balance sheet for the year ended February 2022. Just going to pick out a couple of line items. You'll see that the property, plant and equipment went up. That was the addition of one of the mobile vehicles. You can see the cash and cash equivalents have always been relatively healthy because a lot of the funding is received in advance, so which means that we do have a quarter at least of 3 to 4 months worth of funding that's received in advance at any one time. And then down at the bottom there in the liabilities, you can see there's an increase in the payables from just under 1 million to 2 million, just over 2 million. That represents about 1.3 million rands worth of linen, money that we administer on their behalf. It's a German NPO that we effectively act as agent for. So that's what that increase is. And then the funds held in respect of Pebbles UK is, again, most of you will be aware of that. There's a separate registered charity in the UK that collects money for Pebbles, and their spending is reflected separately. You'll see that in some of the later slides. Okay, looking at the income statement, you can see, which is again some of the things we'd like to point out. Sophia's got the team to focus more on corporate donations in the past year, and that's already reflecting on the bottom line. The corporate donations up by 20%. You'll also see that increase in income generation, and again, part of our strategy to improve sustainability is to start generating more of our own income. So that comes from a number of sources, in terms of sales of food from the kitchen, service fees for the farms, school fees, and fundraising events, clinic fees, sponsorship programs, and then there's also the online shop that we spoke about at the last AGM, which is playing a small role. The drop in the trusts and foundations there, you can see there's a drop from 17.8 million down to 14.5. And that's primarily because last year, the 2021 year, there was an extra 3 million rand that came in for COVID relief, which hasn't obviously been repeated in this year. So we're quite comfortable with that number. I said earlier that the UK charity runs its own set of accounts. So this is just a breakdown of that. They've generously managed to raise around 3 million rand in the past 2 years, 2021 and 2022. And that's just an indication as to how that money has been allocated across our different programs. This is just a combination showing you the combined income from the UK charity and the South African fundraising. So you can see, as we said earlier, that we've been at around 30 million for the past 2 years. And we expect that to be at a similar number for 2023. And this just gives you a nice pie chart to show the breakdown. You can see what's good from my side is that bottom left block, the income generation, is starting to play a significant contribution to the overall funding. Again, it's obviously half of that, as you saw, is coming in, or the bulk of the funding is still reliant on donors, and so we're very grateful for the generous donations that have come in from a wide range of supporters. This just recognizes some of them. There's a lot more, but obviously like to pick out both the foundations and the individuals that have continued to support Pebbles, and you can see a number of these names you would have seen in previous AGMs as regular ongoing supporters, which is also very reassuring for the work that Pebbles is doing, that we have long-term donors committing to us. We don't just receive cash donations, we also receive a lot of generous in-kind donations. This again just shows a representation of some of them. Quite a lot in the past year has been on the nutrition side. Donations of food, such as the Rhodes Food Group have given over 800,000 rand with the food donations, and that has helped us be able to, apart from just in delivering the service, we had budgeted to pay for all the food. So by getting those in-kind donations, it's meant that we've been able to generate savings on that side, which we've been able to use elsewhere. So that's been very generous from their side. And apart from the food donations, you can see other examples of donations: Jungle Gym, hydration packs, toothpaste, a wide range of contributions that have been received. Okay, just to give you an idea of where the money goes. The Learner Education and Enrichment Program that Sophia showed earlier takes up the bulk of the funding and will continue to be the core of Pebbles. It covers learners between the ages of 6 and 18, so it's the widest range of programs across the work that we do. And you can see that growth in the nutrition service in the kitchen has been quite significant, but it does now underpin all our programs, so is a critical part. And admin salaries, expenses, and fundraising in the middle there, we'll show you a bit more about that, a breakdown of that on a later slide. The other programs, even the smaller ones, early adult program and the protection services, whilst they might be small from an expenditure perspective, they still form a critical part of the overall package. This just gives you, again, the same information, but in a pie chart form, and again, just demonstrating that education does remain the core of what Pebbles provide. Okay, I said I was going to just give you a bit more on the administration side. So out of 30 million rands worth of expenses, you can see that we've got around just under 4% on admin and operating expenses, and 8.7% on wages and salaries, on general wages and salaries, not including the program specific ones. So our admin expenses is just around 12.5%, with the rest going directly to beneficiaries. And just to finish up on the finance slides, then it's just to confirm that the trustees have reviewed the trust's cash flow forecast for the year to 28th of February 2023. And in light of this review and the current financial position, we are satisfied that the trust has access to adequate resources to continue in operational existence for the foreseeable future. And I think you will have seen that in the information that's been presented. And again, it's completely thanks to those long-term donors that continue to support, not just for ad hoc donations, but for multi-year programs, which we very gratefully accept. Okay, so after that run through, I hope it wasn't too fast for you, but if we can have again use an online poll for the acceptance of the financial report for 2021-2022, please. Okay, we've got the response there, so thanks very much for the acceptance. The financials are shown as accepted, so thank you for that. Then there's a second poll just to accept the appointment of our auditors, the same auditors that we've been using for the past few years. We'd like to continue with their services, so there's another poll for that, please. Okay, that's great. Thank you. That's also been passed. So we will confirm the appointment of the auditors for the next financial year. And thank you very much for that. So that's it from the financial side, although Sophia will provide some more information after me. So we're going to show another video of Liko's story. And after that, Sophia will come in with a little bit more info about what the trust has been doing.
Hi, my name is Liko. I'm from Jalan Farm. I'm 18 years old and I'm in grade 12. I've attended Pebbles After School Club for 11 years now. My dream is to enroll into the army and to become a social worker. The reason why I want to become a social worker is to help people on my farm and to encourage them to follow their dreams. I've already started to help other children and other communities by sharing my story at the Pebbles camp. There were learners afterwards that come to me and tell me how my story impacted them. I love housekeeping and I'm coaching the other kids. And we are soon competing in another competition. I was shocked when I received the Eugene Isaacs Award for leadership. Pebbles have helped me realize that I am a great leader. I feel like Pebbles could help me with my dreams because I've seen how they impacted other people's lives.
Okay, thank you very much to Peter for the financial report. It's a big change for us having a new treasurer, so without Peter Blaine here, but we're very happy that Peter Koch has joined us and his expertise to carry us through on the financial side. Reflecting back on the financial report that Peter gave, I thought I'm just going to try and work out the cost per child per month. So I took all of our expenses and then our maximum number of children in the last financial year, and they worked out a cost per child. So the cost per child per month, 1,558 Rand. And I think when you consider the support that the children receive from babyhood, schooling, books, toys, transport, food, all of the little pictures that show what the children receive across their time with Pebbles. 30 million Rand to spend is such a huge amount of money, but when you actually put it per child per month, I think it works out as pretty good value. So we hope to continue in the same way, spending the same amount of money on the children and then receiving all the services that we can offer. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some of our achievements. I mentioned earlier that we expanded to the Grabo region. This is a partnership with Fruitways, the apple and pear fruit packing company. And so we have a number of ECD and after-school clubs down in Grabo, which is exciting for us to start working with a different agricultural community and a different region. Last year, we also set up the shared Google Classrooms for all the learners and teachers on the farms. As a result of COVID, obviously, I think a lot of people did the same and everyone has become a professional using Google or Classrooms or Zoom or any other sort of online system. Not quite professionals, but we're trying our best. But now we can access our learners and the teachers on the farm. So should anything ever happen again, but it's just made everything so much more accessible for them. One exciting thing that happened last year was we hosted our first ever Music Eisteddfod in Citrusdal, where the children were performing, and I think it was a hugely successful event. It was a chance for the children to show some of their incredible talents. So thank you to the team that organised that, and we look forward to one in Stellenbosch sometime soon, or maybe even a talent show, which I think is on the cards. We enrolled 14 learners into Boland College for tertiary courses. I think with the youth unemployment for youth between the age of 15 and 24 sitting at about 65.5% at the moment, this is a critical time for South Africa for us to be looking at that group of young adults and making sure that we can get them into tertiary education or get them into internships or learnerships and give them a future. So with Pebbles really starting from very small children, helping the children, working all the way through their lives to get them to the point of going to a tertiary education, college or university. So these are our 14 learners from last year, and we hope to have another group going again this year. Lee has mentioned, and I think Peter also mentioned, our mobile health clinic that was sponsored by Twinings, the international tea company, and it celebrated its first birthday, safe in the hands of Lene and Patrick up there in Clanwilliam. I've been up to visit a couple of times, and I'm just constantly amazed by, first of all, the lack of access to services up in that area, in the rooibos tea growing area. But also when I see the communities and the children particularly get excited when our mobile clinic arrives, it really does fill me with a sense of achievement with this clinic. It's making a huge impact on those communities. And then I mentioned the number of meals previously in another slide from our Pebbles kitchen, another major achievement for the previous financial year. Okay, and I thought we'd look at maybe some of the current things that are going on and the future goals. So for the next year, for the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to be focusing on organisational strengthening and sustainability with some incredible backing that we've recently received. So we're looking to stabilise the organisation, we're looking to strengthen our processes, and we're looking at long-term sustainability. We are 18 years old now, so there'll be a big celebration in 2 years' time when we hit 20. And we need to make sure that this organisation, it needs to be long-term future-proofed. So it's not just going to be here for the next couple of years, it's going to be here for the next 18 years as well. We are in the process of completing the new Pebbles framework and getting our monitoring and evaluation processes in place. And something we're going to be looking at in the next couple of years is staff development and succession planning, just to ensure that we can retain the excellent staff that we've got and grow them and enable space for them also to move up within the organisation. So we're looking at minimal geographic expansion, but looking at increased impact in the current areas that we're working in. I can see some of the staff already smiling, because I always say we won't get bigger, we won't grow, and maybe this is one of those things. Maybe you'll find out at the next AGM that we've actually started working in a completely new geographical area, but for now the intention is just to stay where we are and just get it perfect where we are already working. One thing we have been talking about, though, is a new flagship ECD centre in Stellenbosch. Some of the centres on the farms in Stellenbosch are very, very small, so maybe 5 or 6 children in an ECD centre with staff members, with a support teacher, and our staff who have to go out to that farm. It's maybe not the most cost-effective way of doing things, so we were considering building a flagship ECD centre where we can actually transport the children to a central location. So that's an idea that we're playing with at the moment. Our Skills Development Centre in Stellenbosch is a building that we are going to be celebrating tomorrow. We are officially opening that building. It's only a small wee building to start with, but it enables us to have a home for our early adulthood learners there. And then the Rotary Club of Hermanus are assisting us with the renovation of a shed at the Hemelanada site. So we will hope to open our Skills Development Centre down there early next year. The growth of the early adulthood programme, looking back on things that I've said already about our young adults, this is really where we are focusing. Having been going for 18 years, our learners are now coming up through the system, and we have more and more learners that are coming into the early adulthood programme who are looking for opportunities. And reflecting back on the 3 videos that you saw, we have a potential lawyer, a potential accountant, and a dancer. Was it the other one? But these are talented young adults, and I think there's opportunities for them, maybe even within Pebbles ourselves or outside. And then we also want to increase volunteer and internship opportunities. Obviously with COVID, we have not had any interns for a while, and then we had 2 medical students join us last month, and another couple have joined us now from overseas, which is brilliant. It's lovely to see the overseas volunteers coming back, and they add a different energy and passion and skills to the organisation. So there's huge value in volunteers and internships. So those are our current and future goals for the next financial year and beyond. And this is my favourite part of the AGM, not only because it's coming towards the end, but because this is the time when I can just reflect and look at the incredible people that support us and have actually got us to this point. So our Board of Trustees in South Africa, Lee here and Peter here, and Peter, Zanele and Lucy also. We couldn't do this without you, and the knowledge and skills that you bring are invaluable to the organisation. And also our Board of Directors in the UK, Ray Abercrombie, who actually currently right now is cycling from Land's End in Cornwall up to John O'Groats in Scotland, and he's raising funds for Pebbles to buy a brand new classroom for our Pebbles Academy down in the Hemlanada. So I think he was complaining yesterday his legs were very, very sore, and he's about a third of the way there. So Ray, we're right behind you. Good luck for the rest of the ride. The other UK directors, David Wainwright, who's based in Hong Kong, and Elizabeth Clifton, thank you for your time and everything that you give for the organisation. The senior management team, always, there's Esty, Sam, Michael and Angela. A big thank you to all of you for keeping me afloat. It hasn't been an easy year. The last year, times have been a bit tricky sometimes, and I know that you've always got my back. So thank you to the senior management team. I appreciate all of you. To the program services and admin staff, again, there are people busy everywhere I look. Everybody is always striving for perfection. Everyone is always striving to do the best and to do the most for our beneficiaries. And I appreciate you all, and keep going. We're a strong team and we're a great family, and I thank you for that. When we talked about the income, which was over 30 million, I want to say thank you particularly to the fundraising team, who work tirelessly finding new and exciting ways to raise money for the organisation, and have helped an awful lot as well with the beautiful annual report and setting up the AGM. And they've got a lot of exciting things up their sleeves. Liesl is opening the open day tomorrow in Stellenbosch, which I hope some of you can come and join us there. Thank you to the farm owners. Sometimes I think we might be a little bit irritating for the farm owners when we keep asking for things and suggesting things and coming in with new ideas of things that we can do to support the community. But the reception that we get from the farm owners is very warm. And again, they allow us onto their farm and work with us in partnership. And that's really the way it's going to work. The farming communities themselves, again, welcome us with open arms. Our services go on to the farms as well, and the farming communities have access to the clinic. So working with them is a special experience for all of us. We would usually have a bunch of flowers at this point, which we would hand over to Simon Greer. I want to say thank you to the Villera Wine Farm and the Greer family for giving us a home since 2008. I think we intend to stay there. We're very happily settled on Villera. And thank you to them for always accommodating every request that we go to them with. I'd like to thank our volunteers and our interns, the new ones that have come back, but also previous interns and volunteers who have stayed in touch with the organisation. Some who go back to Holland and then raise funds for the organisation in their hometowns, which is highly appreciated. This is a special one now, our friends and families, because whenever somebody new joins the organisation, we have a new staff member joining, I always warn them that in time, their entire family is going to be sucked in and being part of the Pebbles family. And I think that is how it happens. People bring their friends on board as donors, people bring their families in to help, whether it's making sandwiches or preparing for camps or any of the other activities. Our friends and families really support us in the work that we do. We've had a huge amount of support from local businesses in the Stellenbosch area and Hermanus. So we can't do the work without the local community and business community particularly supporting us. So thank you to them. And of course, our loyal donors and supporters, only a fraction of which were on the previous slides in the financial report. Some donations are huge and some are small, but every single donation helps us one step along our journey. So thank you to our donors. And also to our partner organisations. We don't do everything ourselves. There are many other NGOs and other organisations who do the work far better than we ever could. So we form partnerships with those organisations, and they bring their skills and knowledge, and we work alongside them. So thank you to those partner organisations. Your support is appreciated. And then finally, last but not least at all, is our beneficiaries. The children give 100%. They take on board what we're trying to do with them, how we're trying to move them from one place to the next. And they really get involved as well in all of the activities that we offer. So a special thank you to our beneficiaries, whether you are a little 2-year-old toddler or a 24-year-old young adult. We appreciate you all. So this was the quote that we included in our annual report this year, which seems to make sense for me. We've spent 18 years planting people, basically growing people, and we'll continue to do that as well. That is our vision for a lifetime, is to see how far we can help those young adults achieve in life. And I want to thank everybody for joining us for our AGM. I want to thank Lee, who is here. I want to thank Peter for their contribution. I want to thank Mandy and Clayton, who is our IT team, who are here and have helped sort out all the video issues, all the connectivity issues. So thank you to that team as well. And thank you to everybody for joining us. I think we finished a little ahead of time, which is also fine because we've all got work to do. But I'd like to celebrate everybody who joined us and say we will see you next year for our AGM 2023. And just follow our social media. We've got a very exciting wine auction coming up that people might be interested to be part of. And those of you who are living locally, we hope to see you at our open day tomorrow. But thank you very much for joining us. Bye.